Peace. All right, we got to see how we get homeboy on here now.
All right.
All right. Let me see. Who on here now? This is Trug.
This is Vidal.
Okay, this is Vidal. Okay.
You waiting for True G stuff.
All right, True G. Okay. All right. I think we probably got him.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, my man. I need a little light. I need you to step to the light a little bit. I need you to get your dribble right over there.
Yeah, we need you to light that afro up.
Yeah, man.
Or you need to shine up that dome.
I got some shit for y'all, man. Oh, man. I'm loaded.
Come on.
You ain't never seen nobody this prepared, man.
Hey.
You know what I'm saying?
Shit, I watch you. I watch you. I know you and your
telling you, man, this shit cracking, right? Listen, right? Boom. I was kind of like out of the loop, right, with you brothers, right?
Right.
So I did my thing with the mechanics. Boom. Of course, they mentioned the album. And when they mentioned y'all name and shit, I'm like, is them the same Delinquents from back in the day?
Yeah.
And he like, yeah, right? He's like, yeah, right? So boom, I'm like, okay, let me check him out and shit. Let me see what y'all got going and shit. And the first thing he played for me was Grove Street. I have to ask you about this Grove Street shit first, and then I'm gonna go back to my conversation with 4 Racks and how we got here. All right?
Okay.
Grove Street. Tell me what's the significance of Grove Street.
So Grove Street is now Martin Luther King Street. It used to be Martin Luther King Street that went through West Oakland and a part of Berkeley, North Oakland, West Oakland, rather. That's where the Black Panthers started at. They first thing they kicked it off. Actually, it's on my birthday, October 15th, but it was 1966.
Okay. So Grove Street is where it started at.
Grove Street, 1966, October 15th. Grove Street is where it got off at.
Grove Street, no doubt. So, tell me the storyline. You were saying something about, okay, you just told me that the 15th of October is your birthday. Tell me about the 4 brothers in the vehicle. What was that about?
Well, that was just a play on words because it was 1966. So I just said 4 brothers was in the 1966 Nova because 66 Novas from where we from is hot cars and fast cars. So I figured if they was doing their Dougie in 1966, they was probably in something fast.
Right.
And that was
okay. Tell me, tell my viewers the statement that was being made by doing such a video.
Well, I mean, obviously, because that's where we from. So that's kind of like second nature to us. The Black Panthers, you know what I mean? The free food program, free lunches, all that. We benefited off that as kids, you know what I mean? Going to the centers, in the parks, in the neighborhood, being able to get free lunch throughout the summer. So, you know, that was kind of embedded in us. And then our parents and all of that kind of encompassed that. And, you know, we grew up in that society. So that's kind of the norm, kind of like how, to me, it's probably how when I see New York, I see a lot of the 5%er stuff go on, which sounds like that's from kind of that area. Yeah. So it's kind of like, that's like the Black Panthers from Oakland. It's kind of like everybody kind of got a piece of that in them. Their parents, or their uncles, their grandparents, right. Everybody, you know what I mean?
Okay. This new album, I want to talk about this new album because I just went through it with this new album and shit, man. How y'all feel about this joint? Because y'all veterans, right?
Yeah.
And niggas, after a while, niggas don't be fresh as they used to be and shit. And that's what I was very, very impressed by y'all and shit. Like, the first thing I was exposed to was Grove Street. And I know y'all capable of doing some militant shit coming out of Oakland, right?
Right.
Boom. I started going through the tracks and shit, man. And god damn. I don't be liking, you know, I used to play ball and shit, right? I don't be liking niggas to say, man, you's a hooping ass old nigga and shit. I don't like that shit, right? But based on my age, and I was listening to y'all when I was about 17, 18, and I believe y'all was grown already.
Right.
So that at this point, that in 2023, that would make y'all some rapping ass old niggas, my nigga. Straight up. You niggas can go, man. Y'all can go, man.
Thank you, my man. Thank you.
Hey, y'all can go, man. I ain't brown nosing you niggas or nothing, man. I be interviewing veterans and shit, man. And since the social media age and this Instagram and, you know, the veterans are starting to pick up on how valuable this shit is, and they be coming back to the game half cocked and shit. You niggas sound like y'all never put the ball down and shit. Like y'all never stopped dribbling. For real.
Right. Appreciate it.
So boom. All right, so check, right? I believe back in the day, I was probably misled by some album artwork, and I expected the Delinquents to be one of them X Bay Area militant type things, right?
Right.
Yeah, so I didn't, you know, I wasn't really checking for the Delinquents. I remember that y'all was there. I remember that I wasn't checking for the Delinquents growing up, but I remember that y'all was there. So after I had my conversation with 4 Racks and them, right? I'm like, is them the same niggas from back in the day? He like, yeah, right. So I go and do my research. I know I seen this name places. I know the era I seen this name. I got to go back, Murder Dog, and I got to go back and do my shit, right? And I know I seen the name on an album cover that meant something to me. And I went back because I knew what it was. I knew where I seen it at. And it was the Cell Block compilation.
Yeah, my boy, put that out.
So
yeah.
It was a Cell Block compilation. So y'all one of them niggas. All right. Y'all one of them niggas. Y'all was of the this priceless compilation era and shit, and it was big in the Bay Area. On the Cell Block compilation, y'all was on there with Seeger and Miller. Could y'all tell my viewers about Seeger, please?
Well, I'll let G tell you that because he's from the village and that's where Sieg from.
Yeah, Sieg was signed to True Black Records, and then they did a joint deal with Rap-A-Lot. Sieg is affiliated with 69th Village, and he had a song called "Aville." I don't know if you know him on that first album, Dark Roads.
Okay.
He had a song called "Aville," and I think a couple songs on that album, Black was even on that record, on a couple of records. So, yeah, man, we was you know, coming from where I'm from, the village, and definitely Oakland, we was really rooting for Sieg, man. Rest in peace. We was really rooting for Sieg, man. You know, and he was trying to rap a lot, so you know he was doing songs with Scarface and Bushwick and all them. You know.
Yeah. I had a CD.
Yeah.
I was buying all them records and shit. He had a song called "The Town" that was my shit. Like that was just crazy. Getting back to this project right here and shit. That nigga 4 Racks, he a bad motherfucker, ain't he? That nigga. I got a
list. Do a little bit of everything.
Yeah, exactly. And I got a list.
What's that, my man?
This is my list of all the niggas that 4 Racks think he is. Right? You see it? George Clinton, Barry Gordy, Bootsy Collins, Nate Dogg, Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, and James Ingram.
Yeah.
No, why James Ingram? James Ingram?
Because he was singing that smooth shit on that song, that record, I Got You, man. I just called.
Okay. I get that.
I just called this nigga about that record, man, because you know I'm looking at it. You know, it says a lot of joints say the Delinquents featuring the Mechanics or vice versa and shit. And I think this one that said 4 racks. I said, let me listen to this joint. And when he got the blowing and shit, I'm like, God damn, I just was around this nigga. I didn't even see this type of shit, this type of soul coming out this nigga.
The wonders of mic and mixing, huh?
Yeah, man, this nigga on some Cosmo Soze shit, man. Like, he pulled that,
Yeah, he did.
does
Really
he
dope
make it,
record.
did he make it easy for y'all to do this shit, man? Because you got the production, and then the nigga getting on the record, man, putting the record together and shit, man. Like, goddamn, man, what is that like working with somebody like him?
Well,
I mean, 4 racks, man. He's a multifaceted type of guy, man, and it makes it a lot easier because, like, say for instance, we'll do a rap. He'd give us the beat. That's how it started. He'd shoot us the beat, email us the beat. You know what I mean? Either we'd go through there, we lay it, and then we might be stuck on the hook, and we'll leave it like that.
Right.
And then he'll hit us a couple of days and say, check your email. This nigga be on the hook.
give you a whole another record.
Can't deny it. You like straight.
Right. I like him, man. I like him. I like the Mechanics. I'm gonna keep going back to this album. Then I'm gonna go through some of y'all history. Some that I noticed that y'all was on the West Coast Bad Boys compilation. Legendary.
Man.
Did y'all have a relationship with P? How he pick you niggas up?
If P was the home man, P paid him and King George came and paid us as music people $1,500 for that, and they was in a Pinto.
Yeah.
Straight up.
One
This
thing
is when he had the record.
Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying that to so you could visualize it. I'm not saying that they
Hustler motherfucker sound like a hustler to me.
Yeah, he was. Don't get me wrong. I ain't saying he was broke or he was dusted out, but I'm just saying him and King George, they hopped in the mobby like niggas around here do. Niggas, you got a mobby sitting somewhere, right, and that's A to B car, your undercar. You know what I mean? Yeah. The Pinto came from Richmond, the music people.
No doubt.
And the music people is Jason Blaine on that. It was a small distributor in West Oakland that he ended up signing RBL. They signed to him in a minute record.
Okay.
So the music people was the same person, Jason Blaine. In a Minute was his record company, and Music People was his distributing company. So right, all of the Bay Area artists went through Music People. Right. So that's kind of like common ground for everybody to meet up from the Bay Area back then that was doing music, because everybody was doing business with him as far as distribution.
Right. When that shit was popping off over in Richmond, did y'all ever visit the actual record store? Because it was a record store first, right?
In P?
Oh, you talking about Matt P had his own record store.
Yeah. Nah, we never. Richmond and Oakland didn't really get along back then. He was kind of real territorial, so kind of we met in the middle ground. You know what I mean? But we had THRU, so that was our famous record store. So we really never had no reason to go there. And then you got to realize when P did have a record store, that was at the beginning of rap. So it ain't like he was rapping and trying to promote the record store at the same time. It's kind of like the record store was the ending of the record store was kind of the starting of his rap career.
Got it. Did y'all see any qualities about him when he came and paid y'all that day that would tell y'all that West Coast Bad Boy shit would take off like that? Because it ended up being a couple volumes, right?
No, we was like, nigga, country than a motherfucker. Country ass nigga. This nigga had a Lexus on Gold Ones and Vogues. Nigga, who put Gold Ones and Vogues on the photo Lexus? Like, nigga, 68 Mustangs. Hold
on. You talking about the Lexus that was on the Ice Cream Man joint?
LS4. Man, LS4.
Y'all wasn't fucking with that?
Nah, hell no. We put Gold Ones on Cougars and Mustangs like you see now. In the back then, you put, you know what I mean? Niggas rolled Saabs, BBSs, Legends. They put BBSs on there. You know what I mean? Not no Gold. Bows. Go and Bows, they got knockoffs that you got to knock on with a lead hammer and shit.
Yeah. Okay, so boom, he came to do some business with y'all. He appeared to be a country nigga from, you know, Louisiana or whatever. And did y'all see it turning into what No Limit turned into? Because y'all was around it during its infancy stages, basically.
I don't think we really seen it, but now when you look back at hindsight, the nigga was everywhere. Every concert, every show, every radio station, every video, every picnic. This nigga was everywhere. So, you know what I mean? When you look back in hindsight, the nigga was putting in work. But us, you know what I mean? We street niggas, half street, so we kind of too cool to be doing. We ain't finna be doing all that shit. That nigga show up with a box full of flyers. He putting CDs in your hand. I don't give a fuck if you in the club with a 3-piece suit on. You leaving with a CD.
Pressure, no doubt.
He did it. So now I see what he did, but back then I couldn't put a name on it.
Okay, so I'm flipping through this album, and I get to. I'm gonna start from Let 'Em Know. I know what you niggas was talking about on Let 'Em Know and shit. Y'all was talking all that slick shit, but I know exactly what y'all was talking about. I know exactly what you niggas was talking about. So boom, that engaged me. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm with the lingo and shit like that. I'm a hustler. When I got to the next song I listened to, I believe it was Where I'm From. I got the popping and shit. I'm like, I done heard this motherfucker before. I know I done heard this motherfucker before. And then y'all start putting y'all thing down. What was it like recording that joint? You know I have to listen to a song titled Where I'm From to see what the fuck is, you know?
Well,
it's a title that's, yeah, it's engaging and shit. So I listened to it, but tell me what it was like doing that record.
You go first, G.
Well, V started it off as normally happens. So V started it off, and I was listening to the record, and I was like, you know, it's definitely easy to represent Oakland, and me to represent the Ville, and us to represent where we came from. But the record, you know, the way V laid the hook, and the way, since the beat is, you know, a remake from Short, from Don't Fight the Feeling.
Right.
And I believe Short got the beat from somewhere. Where Short get the original beat from, V? Was it Daz Band or something?
No, I think not M2 May. It's one of them old bands like M2 May.
So anyway, we know it was an old school nostalgic beat. So what a way to go. It's easy to go. Like, let's go back to where it started from, and that's where we went, you know.
Okay. Yeah, Short got it from One Way.
One Way. That's what it was. Okay. Yeah.
Make you.
That dude sound like some One Way.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
Funky. What would you describe as what is it that you guys do? Because y'all got this revolutionary shit going on naturally. You listen to y'all raps over these funky ass beats, and some of these joints, you got some joints for the bitches, and then you talking slick about where you from and let them know you talking about getting money. What's y'all skill set? I was under them, like I said, back in the day, for some reason, I was under the impression that y'all was revolutionary, Scary X type situation. But what exactly is it that the Delinquents do and represent musically?
When we started the record, V was like, let's do the record we want to hear. You know what I mean? Let's be the music that we feel like is missing. Let's not follow trends. Let's do what we've been doing. And I remember years ago when we started, V was like, man, we ain't finna worry about nowhere else. We finna represent Oakland. So with that mindset, it was easy to do the record. You know what I mean? And V will tell you that's kind of what we stuck to. You know, that formula.
What year did y'all come out? I had meant to ask y'all this at the beginning. What year was the Delinquents established?
92.
That's about.
But we started in 91.
Yeah.
We put our first record in 92. Vidal started before me though. Vidal was he was in diapers. Vidal was in diapers, man. He was like Mayweather's fighting at 6.
Okay.
So
y'all had solo situations going on before y'all put it together?
I wasn't rapping.
He didn't rap. He was just a homie that you know what I mean? We was just tight. And he was gonna be kind of like the businessman who come in and we go 50-50 on everything. But I'm like, nigga, we ain't finna be splitting this cake, nigga, and I'm doing all the work. So, you know what I mean? So the nigga, he would freestyle just playing around, but I seen that he had something, and I'm like, bro, you need to take this shit serious. So back then he really sat down and wrote something, and you know what I mean? And that was the start of us. And I'm like, nigga, now we 50-50 and we putting in 50-50 work. Right. You know what I mean?
These cloves that are dry flower.
How many joints? Oh, damn.
From the clove.
Shit. How many joints? Pardon me. How many joints do y'all have out? How many joints y'all got on your resume?
What was it, about 7, G? 7, 8?
Man, including the mixtapes, we had 10.
We got Alley.
Say that again?
Including the mixtape, we had 10.
Okay, 10.
10 albums.
For people who ain't familiar with
then
y'all history.
If you count the Dominions 1 and 2, we had 12.
If you count the what?
The Dominion.
The Dominion.
That was our
What's that?
Compilation we put out.
Okay.
Yeah, you look up.
If you was to reference a certain project or two out of those 12 projects, what would be your doggy style, your Illmatic, your Reasonable Doubt?
Bosses will be bosses.
That's what they saying in the comments. Tell me about this project. They're saying it in the comments already and shit.
Yeah, see, so Bosses Will Be Bosses was back then, I think, 94, 95, after we started, after about 2 or 3 years, we made a little noise and we got signed. Dave Weiner was our A&R, and we got signed to Priority with Mac 10, Master P, All From the Eye. We was all on Priority at the same time. Priority put out an album on us that really wasn't us, and we was kind of new to signing to a label, and we didn't, so we kind of conformed and kind of bent and did what they wanted us to do, so to speak. Not what they wanted us to do, but you know what I mean, we let them pick producers, and we kind of forced picking beats, and you know what I mean. So it was a project that really wasn't our true self.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't do what we wanted it to do. So after that, we seen where it was going. We was like, man, just let us off the label. So Dave Weiner, which is, I don't know if he's still with him, but he was part of Strange Music with Travis and Tech Nine. Dave Weiner, that's where he ended up going. Last I heard. So when they let us go, we made Bosses Will Be Bosses was the album after leaving Priority, which we had like an all-star lineup. We had Master P, Young Bleed, Mac 10, Tony, Richie Rich, Yuck Mouth, Looney, both the Loonies. I mean, we had it. Be Legit.
Otis and Suge, Keith, everybody.
Yeah, so that was kind of, we was like, man, you know what I mean, after leaving Priority, and they kind of tied our hands and shit and sent us out there looking funny, you know what I mean? We said, man, we got to let our...
So y'all did that Indie,
after we left Priority.
And what record is Tony on? How you get down with Raphael Sadiq?
Which one is that, G?
That's not... it was Will from the Tonys, and it was
the Tonys.
It was Let Me Touch It.
Yeah, so Raphael himself wasn't on it. That's kind of when he first kind of went his way, and they was doing their thing. And so the guy that filled in for him was the actual guy that was going with the moniker Tony back there.
Right. Who inspired y'all musically? Because I'm in tune with the with Bay Area music forever.
I mean, I'd have to say Short, you know.
I mean, for me, who inspired me is shit, man. I'm a Tila Rock, Tila Rock, Fresh is the Word, Just Ice. I was on that. I was on all New York shit. You know what I mean? When I was a youngster, that was the shit. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Schoolie D. You know what I mean? That's the shit I was listening to.
Y'all can rap, man. It shows.
Thank
It shows that
you, man.
y'all can rap for real. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. I don't want nobody to
Thank
jump
you,
on
man.
me, but at this point, I got Northern California being a little bit more skilled than Southern California.
Right.
I just,
Thank you,
I'm
man.
just keeping it funky and shit, man. The flow's different. The flow's different. Like, you know what I mean? I interviewed Yuck Mouth in LA and shit. And man, Yuck Mouth could rap with any fucking body.
Right.
You got bars.
Yeah, that nigga can go, man. Like,
Yeah.
he can go and shit. You know what I'm saying? And shit, listening to y'all, especially this album, and considering at this juncture in y'all career, man, y'all niggas fire as a motherfucker and shit. Tell me how y'all go about recording. Y'all actually, y'all obviously writing on a tablet, right?
Yeah,
It sounds
ain't nobody
like
coming
you
off the
can tell the
brain.
difference. You can tell the difference and shit. You can tell the difference.
Yeah. No. I mean, it's for us. For me, it's kind of easy because I just write about me and my history. Like I say, when you say where we from, them words is actual words. You know what I mean? I say I had a spot out in Stockton pre-Western Ranch. What that mean is I had a spot. I bought my first house when I was 20 years old in Stockton before Western Ranch was in Stockton, which is now the quote-unquote suburbs of Stockton, before it had. But that was just farmland when I bought my house.
Okay.
So, you know what I mean? It's just, I write about the history and where we came up, and I think that, like I said, rap is 50 years old now, so it's kind of like we in this weird space for some old niggas is trying to act young, but we got a peer group that's our age that still want to hear mature rap and don't want to hear all the young shit. You know what I mean? But so that's my thing. I think I'm just trying to keep it true to what we believe in instead of keeping it true to what I think they want to hear.
Okay. This new one is called Authenticity, right?
Authenticity,
Yes, sir.
new album.
How long did it take to put this joint together?
You want to know the short or the long?
I need the long. I need the long.
We worked on that record before the pandemic. We started working on it before the pandemic, and then we got back to it after after pandemic kind of lightened up. We like, man, let's see what we got, and let's see what we can do to make it stronger. And that's what you got. We worked on that record damn near till we press send.
Okay.
Yeah.
He said to press in.
Yeah, we worked on that record.
That was a long process. Some of them songs you hear was originally on different beats because some of them songs was sitting so long we felt like some of the production was dated. So we had Rax and the Mechanics kind of remix and do some of them.
We worked that record to the bone, and I'm talking about day and night. And you like V said, Dot'll be listening, like, yeah, I think we can kill this one. I think we can do a better record than this one. I think, and then he would hit us and be like, hey, I think you could do a better verse. I think y'all can do a better hook. So we just kept working the record, man, and we really happy that the people saw what we was putting together,
Tell me about the record Flowers. Let's talk about that joint.
So Flowers, we kind of
produced by Big Z. Shout out to Big Z.
I got my boy Brownie Blends is on there. I don't know if you're familiar with Brownie Blends, but he's one of the barbers on LeBron the Shop.
Okay.
On HBO.
Okay.
So he's kind of like he always hang out. He hang out with Draymond real good. That's his personal barber. But he actually is on the Shop. He's one of the barbers that's on the Shop. If you look him up, his name Brownie Blends. So he got the middle verse.
Okay.
Well, he got the last verse.
Right.
So he, and that's
and the hook.
Yeah, and we just inspired. We just wanted to do flowers to give it up. You know what I mean? That's why we gave it up to, because us as Bay Area artists, man, we're in such a competition with each other. It's like we kind of scared to big up each other. You know what I mean? Because it's such a competition. So we felt like this was the perfect opportunity just to big up other motherfuckers that's from here, from where we from.
Right. Okay. I like that joint a lot. I believe that was the last joint I listened to. This interview was very, very necessary, man, because we got to spread the news about this motherfucking album. This ain't one that just...
Nah.
Yeah, I got that.
Authenticity is one of the ones, man.
I started to get that impression. I said, okay, I see what this it was a little urgency behind this joint. You know what I mean? Like, I get it now. I get it. And we had to make it happen. Well, yeah. He was on my ass and shit. Like, man, you got to look into this and shit, because we actually discussed y'all during their interview and shit. And then he called me back and he asked me, did I listen to the album? I was like, nah, I just listened to the Grove Street joint. You know, the joints that y'all had music videos for and shit.
Right.
Said, hey, we need to go check that joint out, man. You know what I mean? And I hear that all the time from niggas. Everybody always telling me, go check something out. Yeah. Go check it out and shit. And he showed his ass on there, man. Like, the production and shit. Like, I was looking at it, and the production on y'all album is more universally compatible with black people and shit.
Thank you, man.
Seriously and shit. Like, you know, niggas be rapping on funny beats and shit like that. Like, and doing, you know, trying to push the envelope, you know, of hip hop and shit. Niggas be rapping on pianos and all type of silly shit. This shit here is I'm telling you, man, I was bouncing like a motherfucker, man. And I'm old enough to know all of the slick shit that these producers be doing in the studio, all the wizardry. I can hear it. I'm like, I'm about to call him. I didn't know who it was, but I knew I heard it before, and it was Too Short, Don't Fight the Feeling. So, yeah, y'all got a heater. Tell my listeners where they could find it at, man, how they could purchase this joint.
Man, we on all platforms, man. Delinquents, Authenticity, you can get it, you know, iTunes, Spotify, man, any platform that you own, it's available. You know what I mean? We getting distributed through Empire, so you know they've got a major stake in the game, and they put paint where it ain't. You know what I mean? So
y'all signed?
No, we getting distributed.
Oh, distribution. Okay.
I'm saying that to say that they tentacles reach kind of far. You know what I mean? Because Empire, they ain't no slouch. So anywhere that it needs to be available, they make sure that it's there available for you to grab it.
Right. How do y'all feel about record labels today, being as though y'all veterans, y'all went through it and shit. Y'all was around when they had A&Rs and all of this type of shit.
Well, I mean, for us, it's kind of different because from where we from, I mean, not to toot our own horns, but you had a lot of niggas who said they was from the streets and all of the, I mean, even where we from. And they was getting all of this money back in the days, you know what I mean? And I don't understand how was everybody getting all this money back in the days, but everybody signed with another dope dealer to put their record out. We ain't never signed with nobody. We've been putting our shit out and our own money behind our shit since day one. But you got a lot of niggas who tell you, oh, nigga, back in the days, I was getting bread, but you signed up under another nigga.
So you wasn't getting bread for real.
You signed up under another nigga. So you were selling pit joints in the back of the schoolhouse. Like, nigga, come on, man. Yeah. So, like I said, so that's how record labels, I'm just saying, giving you some history on how we feel about record labels. We came out the gate being independent because we was businessmen. We just applied street etiquette, business-wise, to the record label. We like, nigga, where can you go spend 79 cents, nigga, and make $8?
Right.
Come on, man. We 8-timing our money.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That was a whole lot different from a nigga getting 100 bundle only making $20.
You said You said you didn't want to toot on your own horn, but you was basically saying I'm from the Bay and we've been doing this indie shit. Basically, that's basically what
Well,
you.
yeah, what I'm saying is if there's not too many people from the Bay Area and a lot of other places that said that they're independent and never signed with nobody else.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? So if you had a whole bunch of money, you had to be real or low skill to sign with another nigga who didn't know nothing about the industry. It's a difference to sign with a motherfucker who know what they doing, but you sign with another nigga with some money who he don't even know what he doing.
Yeah.
So y'all freestyle. You signed up under this nigga while he freestyle with your career. We never done that. We signed our own shit. We pushed our own shit. We got our own EIN number, business tax license, and we did that from day one. You know what I mean? So that's, you know what I mean. Business wise, that's just what we've been on. We've been on business. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And so far as a record label, now I don't think record labels is really necessary. I mean, because a record label, basically, if they come to you, they want you to present to them everything that they should do for you, but they want you to have that already packaged up before they fuck with you.
So basically, they want to eat off your
Yeah.
plate. They're like, oh, we see him making money over there. Let's see how we can get some of that.
Yeah.
Throw him more so we can get some on the other end.
Yeah, just
kind of what they do.
That's why I can respect the cat like Lil Russell the way he doing this thing, because you know what I mean. I'm getting all this momentum. Like, nigga, you're not just gonna come eat off me after I done put all the hard work and sweat in,
Right.
And then give me the lower end of the percentage.
And they're doing 360 deals now. I'm hearing.
What you call it?
A 360 deal. They getting something off of everything you do. Back then, they just got something off your record sales. Now they get something off shows, off endorsements, off advertising. They get something off everything.
So it basically makes absolutely no sense for a person to be in that.
I mean, you know, it could make sense. They give you enough. It could make sense, you know, but for the most part, I mean, you know, they a piece of what you got going.
Basically, a label works if you a lazy motherfucker and you don't want to do nothing, you probably be better off getting a record label. Because this, you know what I mean, I tell motherfuckers, just like owning your own business and going to work. I say sometimes owning your own business is like you working 80 hours to avoid working 40.
I never thought about it like that. But
you're
right.
80 hours.
Yeah, that's what it feels like.
Clock, when you punch in the clock, you have a time when you have to go home.
Right.
The business that we in, we do this shit, man. We be in there doing this shit, man.
You ain't built shit, you probably need to be on the label.
Yeah.
Hey, but another thing I want to say too before we end this is also on that beat, I want to give the props to, we got Big Zeke the politician, EA Ski, CMT, Mike D produced on it. We got THRU who fuck with the high roll. He on the drums on I Got You. That's him on the drums. So they assisted in this project with us in the mechanics too, and that was their contribution to it.
Oh man, got a bomb squad, man. Sound like the Golden State Warriors 73-9 squad.
Right.
Sound like
and the majority of it was produced by the mechanics. Faux Racks. That album is presented like a Delinquents mechanics album. It was really a group effort. My boy Quintese as well, and it really was a group effort in bringing this to light. And we want to shout out everybody that helped. Sam, Eddie P, you know, Styling, Fab, everybody.
Right.
You know.
I got to go listen to that joint. What you call it? Bosses.
Will be
bosses.
All right, I got to listen to that joint to see if it's keeping up with this authenticity joint slap, man, on the highest level. I be feeling the East Coast saying with the lingo. I be telling them, man, these are slappers, my nigga.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Thank you, man.
You know what I'm saying? So, damn, it was one thing I wanted to ask y'all before y'all got out of here. How did you feel about E40 being honored for the hip hop 50 years of hip hop.
He deserves it.
Him and Short, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man, short. I'm tripping, but
yeah,
yeah,
him and-
I was looking at a picture of 40 right before I got on here and
yeah.
the caption and shit. So
He deserved it. I mean, to be honest with you, 40, Short, and Hammer, they kind of like the biggest three out of here. I mean, it ain't no bigger three than them that came from Oakland when it come to rap.
right.
Period. You know what I mean? So, I mean, and then Short, I mean, that go unsaid. I don't know a nigga that's been rapping since the late 70s that's still current today rapping.
You still look forward to hearing from him.
Yeah, so,
Huh?
you know,
Yeah.
40, so, 40, he put in his work, man. He deserved everything he got coming. He was a hustler just like P, you know what I mean? Doing the click, all of that, man.
Yeah.
They've been on their grind hustling, man. So, you know what I mean? He deserved it.
They got game, man.
The 40 fuck with it, man, with that wordplay, man. He ain't no slouch.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? He earned
Original
it. Yeah, he earned
lingo. Yeah. So, all right. It's been great exposing y'all to my audience. I'll be using my Bay Area contacts as weaponry over here and shit, because these niggas don't know about you. They don't be knowing this
it.
shit. I be tearing their ass up, man. Like, I interviewed Mr. Ill on these niggas.
Oh yeah,
You know what I'm
Whoa,
saying?
come on.
Yeah.
whoa.
So I don't be
Yeah.
fucking around, man.
3
Like,
heels of sugar.
that's probably why I didn't listen. I
Yeah.
didn't get to y'all track on on the Cell Block compilation, because I was listening to him and Shorty B over and over and over.
So
1-800 fed up with the bullshit.
I'm
So,
gonna give you another Bay Area secret weapon since you said Mr. Ill. So me, Mr. Ill, and my boy Brownie Blends, the one that's on the shop. We got a single out called Time's Up, and that's on Brownie Blends. Me, Mr. Ill, V White, Mr. Ill, and Brownie Blends.
okay.
So
I gotta hit him up when I was going. He's sneaking around doing music and shit. I
yeah,
gotta hit him up. He's from Pennsylvania.
yeah,
He's from Pennsylvania. The way that I found him, everybody that I've had some contact with from the Bay, I tell them about that fucking Cell Block compilation, because I love that joint, man. 3 Times Crazy. Like, I love that Cell Block joint, man. Back in the day, you could just put that shit on,
yeah,
let that shit rock.
yeah. Father,
I would mention it to everybody, and Yuck Mouth started to, give me a little history on the shit. So how did y'all end up on that project? Because that
DVD.
was like a one and done or type
Yeah.
of. Okay, so how did y'all end up on there?
Well, Davey D, the one who produced it, that was my homeboy, Davey D. So he was, I think, Davey D was he fucking with
Bad
Bad
Influence.
Influence.
And
She was putting out influence
Bank.
in Bank. So he kind of came up under the Short umbrella. Not really so much, but he was up under their tutelage, and they kind of was showing him how to, do a label and all of the shit. And then he broke off, and that's when he did Cell Block and started doing his own thing. But he had Bad Influence was his group.
And
Mr. Ill was
did he
his
have FM Blue too, though?
FM Blue was his artist.
Okay.
So,
A lot of those people was on the project.
Yeah.
I think Cell Block was a way for him to kind of put out a compilation and showcase all of the talent that he was putting out on his label.
Did you expect it to be legendary, that project?
Definitely. I definitely knew it was gonna be dope, because at the time it was the compilations was smacking. You feel me? So when it came out, he upped the ante on that one. He didn't have the usual suspects on his.
Yeah, that
So
joint was loaded. That shit was
Right.
loaded. Loaded pistol.
Yeah. Yeah, that 3 Hills of Sugar, Mr. Ill, he had the 3 Hills of Sugar was on.
Yuck Mouth he the one that told me that he was from Pennsylvania. He was like, man, that nigga from over there, where you at? Find him. Like, so I ended up finding him. I did a dope ass interview with him and shit. And at this point, it's like I got the Cell Block compilation. I'm just going checking off names and shit. So
Right.
I got to continue my mission and continue introducing the Bay Area dribble to the rest of the world and shit. And I
Thank
appreciate
you,
y'all
man.
for coming here
Salute
tonight.
you for that,
Salute.
man. So,
Yeah.
And I appreciate you.
shout out to Gully TV for making it happen, and Yuck and the Mechanics for linking it up, man.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? And like I said, man, I've been watching you. I've been watching you. I've been fucking with you, man. I'm gonna give you your flowers. I always stand on your square on how you move, man. I've been watching your interviews when you was interviewing Jack and all of the shit.
Thank
But
you.
I like how your demeanor is and how you do your thing, that you stay on your square no matter what. You know what I mean?
I love this shit.
Yeah.
I love this shit. Yeah. So I'm about to get up out of here. 4 racks. Thank you, George Clinton, Barry Gordy, Bootsy, and a whole bunch of other niggas, man. Y'all go look this cat, look him up, man.
Yeah, we just gonna call that nigga 5 times
You
crazy.
forgot Nate Dogg. You didn't leave Nate Dogg off.
Yeah, right. Give me a drop. Whichever one of y'all want to do it, or y'all want to do it together, and we gonna get up out of here. Again, I appreciate y'all for coming on tonight.
Go ahead, G.
Oh man, shout out, man. Delinquents, V White, and I'm G Stack, man. We on Gully TV, man. Keeping it gully.
Yeah, man. V White the Great, Gully TV. You know what it is.
Appreciate y'all, man. Out of here. All right. Love y'all. One.
One.
So,